Sherry, and this is Gardening in the North. And today I'm planting beets in 2 different locations. For those of you that have been following along with my channel, you know that I recently built 4 new raised beds out of recycled barn material and then filled them using the hugelkultur method. Now, because I filled them using the hugelkultur method, there is a lot of yard waste underneath this 8 inches of soil. And I know that throughout the season, a lot of this material is going to compress and the soil level is actually going to drop. And I'm okay with that. I know that planting in these boxes this year might be a little bit of a risk, but if I don't take the risk, then I'm surely not going to gain anything. So what I've decided to do is to plant beets in each of these boxes, as well as in some of the barrels that I have around the pool deck. And the reason that I've chosen beets is because they are a shallow rooted vegetable. And like I mentioned, there's only 8 inches of soil in these beds. And so I want to make sure that anything that I do plant in these beds is a shallow rooted vegetable. Now, I am doing a backup by planting them in some of the barrels around the pool deck, just in case this experiment doesn't work. I'm going to be planting 4 varieties of beets, and I thought that I would just plant 1 variety in each bed. So I have the Better Rave albino beet. So it's a white beet, and I've never grown that before. So I'll just show you that. And that's from Ontario Seed Company. Then I have a nice golden beet from Varieties. And I have bull's blood from Varieties as well. And then I have Shikoga candy cane from Backyard Vegetable Garden Seeds. So beets are a cool weather vegetable, and what that means is that you can plant beets out in your garden before your last frost date. So currently it is the middle of April and my last frost date isn't till May 7th, and I'm getting to plant these seeds out in the garden now. Now, for those of you that actually grow seedlings, then you're going to have to make sure that you harden those off before you bring them out, because even though the actual plant is frost hardy, so meaning when these start to grow up, they can handle a frost, your seedlings can't handle coming from inside to outside just like that with no hardening off. One of the great things about growing beets is not only that you get this great vegetable at the end that you can bake, you can roast, you can pickle, anything and everything you can do with a beet, but you have these amazing green and red and purple beet greens that you can use throughout the season while your beets are growing. So often I will come out to my garden and grab a couple leaves from a few of the beets, slice them up, throw them into my salad to add a little bit of color and added flavor. The other thing that you can do with beet greens is you can actually slice it up and cook it like you would spinach. You can also put it in a pan and saute it. Both ways are amazing. Normally when I plant beet seeds, I will plant them 1.5 inches apart. The reason for this is that I like to thin them out as they're growing. So in the summertime, when we're looking for an added side dish to our dinner, I'll run out to the garden and grab 5 or 6 of the small beets and cook them up. Essentially what that does is it provides the required 3 inches between each beet. So what I'm going to do this year is put 2 seeds in each spot. I've read and watched some other videos on cluster planting, and it's supposed to yield you a better harvest or a bigger harvest. So let's get planting. I'm going to do 2 rows in front of me, planting 2 seeds to each spot. Okay. And like that, 60 beets are planted. So what I did was I just made a small trench with my hand about 1/2 inch deep. I threw 2 seeds in each spot and then lightly covered it over. You only want to plant them about 1/2 inch deep, and that's it. I can feel the rain coming again, so I'm going to try and get the rest of this done, get each bed done before I get soaked, and I won't have to water these because the rain's going to do it for me. Thanks for spending time with me.